Action.
Not too loud. The baby's asleep. So, this is my idea. I thought we should talk about two controversial topics, and kind of
Each or person?
Each. So I got mine, and you got yours, and we're just going to talk about why we think these topics are controversial, or like why people have why we think how we think on these topics, pretty much. So do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You go first.
Okay, let me pull out my phone and my notes.
Because mine are vicious. Mine are gonna get me canceled.
Hopefully, we can't get canceled. Like, that's...
We're not famous enough?
Yeah, we're not famous at all to get canceled. Okay, so my first controversial topic is being pro-Black can lead to you idolizing your race. I think that this is so true, especially for me, because I went down this rabbit hole of trying to be... Remember when I was like, want to be pro-Black?
Mm-hmm.
Like...
And you got shunned.
5 years...
Because you were the Hispanic boy.
Don't know what he's talking about, but so 5 years ago, I kind of went down this rabbit hole of wanting to be pro-Black, and I did kind of get some backlash, be like, "How are you going to be pro-Black with the man that's not Black?" But as I became saved and got to know Jesus, I realized that that can lead to you idolizing your race, because depending on what you think pro-Black is, but we shouldn't be focused on that. Like, that shouldn't be a focus of us. We should support everybody. We should love everybody. And it shouldn't be one over the other.
All lives matter?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Okay. Wow, and we're on a post this is crazy. So my thing is with All Lives Matter is, of course, all lives matter, but the point of Black Lives Matters was to emphasize the importance on Black lives that matter, because people were treating it like they did not matter. People were making enough noises, and Black people were getting killed unjustified. So when people say, of course, all lives matter, but I understand people say all Black matters, I understand what they mean. Because in order for all lives to matter, don't you agree that Black lives should matter?
Is this going to be a podcast video? This is going to be longer than...
Don't you think?
10 minutes.
But that's fair to say. If all lives matter, we agree that Black lives matter.
Yeah, all lives matter.
Thank you. That's my point.
Who profited off Black Lives Matter?
Okay,
Jeez. Anyways, back to your pro-Black.
Yeah, so I think that being pro-Black can lead to you idolizing your race. And I kind of felt like I gave a little bit of my opinion on that. I am no longer pro-Black.
So you say idolize, like you're worshiping your race? That your race is better? Yeah. Than all other races?
Yeah.
Damn, that's low-key racist.
No, racist is liking somebody not liking somebody based off their skin color. That's what racist is. I never said I didn't like anybody, but me being so stuck on supporting Black this, Black that. But like Raven, that does not matter. And then I also think there's like a deeper root to why you feel that way. And you got to dig deeper in like, what's the real reasons of why you feel that way? So that was my thing. I think that just being too pro-Black can lead to you idolizing your race. And that's never good. The only person we idolize is Jesus Christ. So that was just my thing, that it was a personal conviction for me that I decided, you know what, Raven, stop with that mindset. And then the second one for me is using the correct words in our family, as far as like when we talk to our kids, we use, when we talk about private parts, we don't make nicknames. We say penis and vagina.
Wait, say that again? Using the proper terms?
Yeah, proper terms. So some people give them nicknames, like, you know, and I try my hardest to use the proper words, because just in my background, a lot of
sexual stuff?
Yeah, a lot of sexual assaults happen, and it could get a little bit delayed or confusing when people are saying nicknames. Like sometimes kids refer to their private areas as certain things other than what it is, which can make it confusing. So I always use, hey, mommy has a vagina, you have a penis, very blunt like that. Also,
I think there was a case on this, isn't there? Like someone got sexually abused.
Oh yeah, and
she was saying her cookies or something. And
yeah, she was referring to her private areas as her cookies.
And dismissing it because she was talking about food.
Yeah, and then one little boy was referring to his private part as like his drag, and that's what he called it. And mom knew, but when he went to school and was saying people were playing with his dragon, they didn't quite understand. So that's why I use terms in my house, very honest. Hey, this is what you have. This is what mommy has.
Direct.
Yeah. So I'm very honest with my kids. Also, as far as dating, I do have a 13-year-old, and I feel like Nehemiah is kind of engaging in talking to females. I am not allowing dating in our home until I don't know what age. I don't know, but I don't support dating. I think that girls can be a distraction. And I know that Nehemiah has a plan and he has a really good head on his shoulders. So I'm not going to be supportive of him dating. Also, social media.
Why is that, though? There's more to it, isn't it?
What?
You don't want him to date girls because...
they could be a distraction.
And I think you were talking about this the other day.
What?
Make false
yes.
false statements, allegations.
Yes, and that's probably in my notes, but I kind of don't want to look at my phone over there. That's why you're here. Yeah. But no, that's so true. I told Nehemiah that a girl could make a false, accuse you of something that was false, and it was
male or female, but a female,
yeah,
more deliberate.
But even if it's not true, it will stick around. You know, like that lie, that it could just stick around. So I always tell Nehemiah, just be careful with these girls, because there's been so many times where girls will say something, even if it's a joke. So also just the seriousness of, like, if somebody accuses you of something, that's so serious. Even if it's false, when you're a male, it just sticks with you. And I know that shouldn't be it, but that's just the truth of it. So I don't want him dating, because I don't want anything like that happening. Even though I raised my son right, and I 100% believe that Nehemiah would never do anything like that, but you just never know how some girls feel. Because I've heard stories. I'm a social worker. I heard stories of girls getting mad or, being embarrassed and then making up a lie. So that's why I'm just like, that's just, like I said, girls could be a distraction in so many ways. So I'm not supportive of him dating. But I understand that if it does happen, if he reaches like 16 or 17, I'm going to have to address it then. But as of right now, no girls, because I know he did speak about, girls asking him out. And I told him absolutely not. Just let them know that you are not allowed to date. So no girls dating, no social media. Absolutely. Social media, no social media for my kids, no dating. And then...
yeah, we have conversations with them and our kids, make sure that, hey, whenever you are willing to step and make that decision.
Oh, yeah.
Because kids are going to be kids, so mind you, you might could go off the rails and all of a sudden, I'm not saying he is, but
they could rebel.
Rebel, and then we have some issue where someone ended up pregnant or something, And then at that point, what do, right? Well, hopefully we told him and him growing up, like, hey, once you do adult things, you're gonna have adult responsibilities. It ain't baby Nehemiah or little boy Nehemiah, because if he's acting like an adult, he's gonna have to get treated like one. So before those decisions are made, he has to make sure, it's gonna be your responsibility to take care not only the person now that you have, but the baby that's in her, because that's your responsibility. Not moms and dads and the in-laws over there. There's no one except yours. So.
And I think that also, and he's 13 and we're already having these conversations, but I think that the sooner the better to have these conversations. And then also...
because you set the standard. Because if you let someone else... because if you let someone else talk to them first, they already have the standard of, I talked to somebody, this is it. So when you try to set a standard for your kids... this is going to be hard for them, because you're the second person. You're the second standard. So they're going to try to be like, well, this is my first standard. Now I'm trying to make the standard of my dad or my mom. And it's going to be hard and conflicting. So that's why you always have to talk as soon as you can. I know people are like, you're talking too soon about sexual activity.
Especially
but
now.
The way how active kids are nowadays, and like even Nehemiah, they asked him about getting the shot.
HPV shot.
Just because of sexually active, how kids are now. He's like, no, we don't need that.
Yeah. When he was in 6th grade and we went to his checkup, they had asked us if I wanted that. And I was like, well, I know you get that from kissing and, of course, sexual things, but you cannot, get it from sharing with people and things of that nature. But mostly they were saying it because he's entering middle school, and a lot of these kids start experimenting at, when they hit middle school, which was so alarming to me. But yeah, so we do have those talks. I most definitely am honest with my kids. I don't know. I just
Like Uncle Sam. Remember that picture if you remember anything out of this video.
yeah.
He wants you. So you be the standard.
Yeah. But I really just don't support dating, and I don't know why. And I think it's just because I have boys and I just know the heartbreak. And I know one day a little girl's gonna come break my boys' hearts and that's going to irritate me. But besides that, I just think that there's so much things at risk. So yeah, those are my two things.
Pro-black, don't idolize it, and then use proper terms, because it kind of went down a rabbit hole, but use proper terms when you're talking to your kids.
Yes, proper
as far
terms.
As what they actually
mommy don't
mean,
sugarcoat
real
things.
Words.
Yeah, mommy says those words, right?
Not the provocative words, but the actual medical terms people use.
A penis and a vagina, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
And yeah, no social media. I think social media is not good for kids. I think that no kid under the age of 16 should be having social media. And even 16, I don't want him to, but I do understand that at a certain time I have to give him that freedom to make his own choices. So I think at 16, if he does want social media, we can revisit this. But other than that, no social media under 16. I just think that there's just no point. But I do, if he wants to start posting, his football highlights, we could make him an account and we could run it and he could look at it being supervised. But as far as like having it on his phone or devices, absolutely not. So those are my two things. Let's talk about yours. I'm excited to hear yours.
She's just gonna break the internet, but is transitioning your kids child abuse or a form of child abuse at an early stage? This is talking about
how early are you talking?
Like your kids don't have consent now. When is it okay for your son to have consent to tell you that it's okay if he can transition? And what is the age?
I think 18. I think that, if you decide that you want to go that route, 18 is the appropriate age.
So the standard that the government has set as far as what is an adult?
Yeah, I would say 18. And even though I feel like 18 is still not an adult for reals, but I would say 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say about people that disagree with that and say they can do it whenever 4, 5, 12 years old? Whatever age they think is appropriate.
And I would say opinions are, like buttholes. We all have them. And that's my opinion.
You consider child abuse, though, because in that prolonging...
Child abuse. Ooh, child abuse. That is such a...
Because you could go along a lot of situations with this, right?
Child abuse is a...
Mutilation. He wants to transition and cut off his private parts.
I don't even think that you could do that. I don't think that no doctor, nobody would be supporting of a child cutting off their private parts. I do think that can be a form of child abuse if your child is, let's say, 10 or 7 years old and you're entertaining that.
I guess at what point do they give them hormone pills and drugs?
Like hormone blockers?
Yeah.
It just varies in the different states that you're in. I don't... Why are you talking about this?
It's hard.
It is because
I don't agree with it at all. The other topic I was going to say, how many genders is there, right? Because it's going to lead into it, but...
Lordy.
Male, female, that's it. Because at the end of the day, even in a medical perspective or anything that you see, might get a lot of backlash on it, but I really don't care. But male, female, only 2 genders. I teach my kids and my family and everything that we know, right? Mind you, we do have family members and people we know that, don't agree with that, or they, think, male, male, female, female, they think everything can mix. Mind you, I don't hate those people, right? I don't, I dislike and hate the way they think. I guess you can say, like, I just hate that persona they have, but as a person, I still treat them as a person because they are still people, and you treat everyone with respect, and that's what I tell my kids. So even though they see it might be wrong, right? But doesn't mean that you're able to go disrespect them and be mean to them or whatever it is, right? You respect people regardless of whatever you don't agree on. So because they're people.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is they're people. If you're a person, you're a person. It doesn't mean just because you think differently, your human rights are less than the person that disagrees or agrees with you.
I need to fix my face. I feel like my face is just like.
I guess what's your point on it?
What I have to say about this.
How many genders is there?
There's two. I did not know you were going to be talking about this, so this is a raw reaction. But my thing is that I say this all the time. Yes, you are right, but we need to have the same energy towards everything. Same energy to people who lie. Same energy to people who have sex before marriage. We have to have the same energy about that as well with all these other things that are not right. And that's my only thing that I'm going to say. Everybody makes a big deal about, that is annoying. But everybody makes a big deal about, sexuality, and I get it. But we don't have the same energy towards other things. And that's my thing is like, why? Because it's so easy. It's so easy to have an opinion on something that you're not struggling with, you don't deal with. But I think that we need to have the same energy and make these same videos towards people who lie, people who cheat, people who steal, people who struggle and severely obese. Like, we need to have these conversations too, because that is just, it's wrong. So, hey, this is why we just love each other so much. But I do think that we kind of like to hate. We like to have.
No one's hating. I don't hate.
Not
nobody.
hateful. Not hate.
I'm not trying
not
to make
hate,
this a hateful thing.
But I think that we should.
I think at the end of the day, with the way you discuss or talk to people, it's not I'm gonna try to win the conversation. I'm win the debate. Like, I think at that point when it becomes
should I turn that
I
off?
want to win conversation, it's not a conversation anymore. That's not genuine anymore, because now there's bad, ill intent behind someone's, person, or, like if we're talking, having a debate now, and then I say something out of pocket, and then now she's kind of defensive, and she like goes by us, and now it ain't coming from,
Yeah. And I have what made you want to talk about those two? Like,
why? Because I feel like there's a lot of confusingness, and since we are potentially moving to California, that is a normal thing.
They normalizing,
sexuality of you thinking your feelings are validated, whatever your feelings okay, and in the real world, I feel like that's not true. Like, if you put it in perspective and go to different countries and I've been around the world, I've seen it. America is really the best place you could be. There's countries
opportunities.
Better opportunities. You can turn it off if you want. There's better opportunities. America itself, when people say it's racist, mind you, I'm not going to say it's not, because it would be delusional the fact that we say that we're not racist in America. Some people are, some people are not. But if you go to other countries, the amount of racism that you will encounter, whether that be China, Japan, the Middle East, is insane compared to what it is in the United States. People get beheaded, chopped. Like, it's just, it's insane. Like, people are so disconnected in the world that I feel like if you come back and reconnect, the world is based off violence. And, and that's how things get accomplished, regardless of what it is or how you think. At some point, America itself, the way the laws were written or what we had to go through was through violence. Other countries go through violence and still do violent things to get their point across or do something. So everything falls back down to violence. But I feel like America is just so not in tuned. A lot of the people in America, they're like how can you say it?
Well, I think people, I see that, but then I also think that we now, because thanks to social media, we are aware of like kind of what's going on around the world.
I think even social media is propaganda too. You got to be very careful with social media, because one side, I could be looking at good things about Donald Trump, right? It might be, and then the other side, I'd be like, oh, look at all the bad things Donald Trump's done, and then there's like, now you have to figure out what's the middle ground or what you want to believe in. Do you want to feed into this side, and that's where it becomes political, and I feel like it just becomes opinion-based and bias-based, right? So very deep topics, but I would say for the little minute problems that people have in their lives, I would just let them kind of sit and think about like what other people are going through, not only here in the United States, but around the world. Like, are my problems of me, dang, I don't have enough food in my house, and you have enough food, but then you're over here thinking that you don't, and then people that actually don't have it, like predicaments like that, just the things that you're able to do. Oh, people debate over tipping. the craziness of people tipping for waitresses and stuff is like, if you have the ability to go out to just even eat at a restaurant, just with your family in general, that's a win within itself. Because there's people that can't do that.
So we're just gonna. You talked about two genders.
Yeah.
And then
child abuse,
and then it's transitioning your child at a young age is child abuse. And did you say if you thought it was child abuse or not?
I think it's child abuse.
Okay,
I think it's child abuse. And
okay.
then to add on to that, because we're kind of going down a rabbit hole, is even if you let your child become overweight, like I'm talking about crazy. Like I'm not talking about just a little bit on the spec. You know, he kind of thick or no. I'm talking about like you let him go. Like,
yeah.
That's a form of child abuse too, where you're hindering his health. You're hindering his health.
Yeah.
And
I think that's really, as a mother who had a child who was overweight, that's really was
hella fat.
That's hard to hear.
Just putting a picture up.
But the thing about it is, though,
just kidding.
I wasn't doing it thinking that it was child abuse. That's the thing too. People are not doing these things thinking it's child abuse, but child abuse is crazy. I feel like another word probably is neglect or something.
Yeah, you say neglect.
Yeah, child abuse. I don't know. It's just,
you're not beating them,
it's a little intense.
Neglecting.
That's a little intense, but I do say, if letting your kids get overweight is a form of neglect.
Super overweight. We ain't just talking about barely borderline. Like we talking about over. Like
yeah.
This man's supposed to weigh 120, and you have him at 220 pounds, like 100 pounds over or something. 80 to 100 pounds over.
And you know what, though? Now I want to talk about what you said, because this is such a good topic where I had interesting conversations with people about tipping. Because let's just talk about some stuff that's controversial that people get people panties in a bunch.
Tipping at Starbucks.
What do you think? Do you think that tipping is necessary?
No. Because
I once had somebody tell me that if you cannot go out, if you can't afford to tip, then you shouldn't be if you could afford to go out but not tip, you shouldn't be going out to eat, which is crazy.
Yeah,
and I've had people say things like, you should tip.
Mind you, if they did a good job, mind you, tip. Go ahead, do
but I think
whatever
that
you feel is right.
Expecting a tip is crazy.
Yeah, expecting one is crazy.
Because, and I want to say this from a very humble place in my heart, because I know that I could be, God could humble me, and I could be one day lose everything and have to become a waitress. But my thing is I shouldn't have to tip because you're dependent on it because you don't get paid enough. That is not my fault that you don't get paid enough. And my tip shouldn't be the reason why, I don't get paid enough, so you should tip me.
Your main survival.
Yeah, like that's not my fault. That you did not.
Now you're trying to make to seem those people bad people because they got it or they didn't do it. Where they're probably struggling as much. Yeah, they're more in a better position. But
yeah. And then it's just choices that we made. Like, I get that if you don't like your job, you do something about it. But I get that it's not that easy, so I don't want to sound super privileged.
The crazy one is when I order food or I order it to go or whatever, and then go pick it up myself and do everything myself. Mind you, I didn't cook the food because that's what they do and that's the services they provide. So I'm not going to tip something they're already providing service for. And then they ask for tips, and it's like, wait, what did you really do? You probably put my food in my bag and then gave it to me, but I didn't receive additional services above and beyond where I thought, this person was on it, gave me my drinks. When I was done with my water, boom, another water was on the table. Boom, asked how my kids were doing. Every single concern about my kids.
But I do think that a tip is something that should be earned. But I think that being mad at me for not tipping is crazy, because what if somebody, is on a budget, like, hey, I only have this much money to spend, and then I shouldn't have to tip you if I don't want to tip you. Now, mind you, there's been somebody that I was in a Starbucks line and I was waiting, and when I tell you this person was giving me so much good conversation when I was waiting for my coffee, I was like, of course I'm going to tip you. Like, we literally talked about so much things within these couple of minutes. You were amazing. Like, so I will tip if I'm in a Starbucks line or any coffee shop line, and I feel like they're just being so nice. But to expect a tip is just crazy to me. And I know a lot of people think, that's broke mindset. And I've heard it all where like people are now being offended that I say that, or now trying to come at me and calling me broke and things like that. But I feel like I shouldn't have to tip. But like I said, if we went to a restaurant and you're giving us drinks, you're getting our orders, like I think you do deserve a tip if you're doing a good job at it. But if you don't get a tip, I shouldn't get these little nasty looks, smart remarks, because it's not my fault that you're depending on my tip to help you with your wages.
And to kind of wrap it up, because I think we're going to go over the time limit for recording, is with the tipping thing. Us as a family now, as more than 6.
Yeah, our bills are way over 100.
It's already, well, that, but I'm saying like, it's already almost added onto our bill sometimes, depending on what restaurant you go to.
Yeah.
If it's a party more than 5, they add the gratitude, or I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
They add. It starts with a G. The word I don't know how to pronounce it. I guess that's my Hispanicness right now. But gratitude, no, not gratitude, or whatever it is called. But they added already on our bill because we're a family of 5 or bigger. So it's like they already add their tip within the meals and everything they do because our family was already big. So they already add the tip. So it's like if you're not careful with stuff like that, it's like you're tipping, but you're already tipping more because they already added their own tip, what they think is right. And then on top of that, they expect a tip. So I think that's where it kind of takes it. We kind of wrap it up because we only got a couple minutes.
We're wrapping it up. I just want to end this video off that, just because we feel these way about things doesn't mean that we would treat anybody less different, and we love everybody. Because I didn't know he was going to talk about that, but it was good
for family, friends, everyone that watches this. At least it's not an attack on anybody. I wasn't specifically.
It was just, I guess, and I did tell him. I said, "Hey, come
everybody.
with 2 confrontational topics, and I'll come with my 2." And that's then, boom, we laid it out. So those are just our things that we as people, how we feel and how we kind of run our families. But everybody is different. So
we might not agree, but we still care. You're also more than welcome to come and have talks with us. Now, when it becomes, like I said, I win and you lose, or you win and I lose conversation, it's not even having the point of having a conversation at that point anymore. But I guess that was pretty good.
Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
See ya.